Here we go. Let's put this over here. Cool, cool, cool. Here we go. All right, guys. I am back. How's everybody doing? Feeling great, be more. Okay. Loving the price action. Okay, all right, all right. Everybody's optimistic. That's good. That's good. It's always nice to hear, fellow apes. I hate to use that word, but whatever. Um, sentiment is always good to hear, good spirits and all that stuff. But there's a couple of us around here that I know is kind of beaten down a little bit. But this is the purpose of this show too. It's just to kind of uplift people because of the price action, right? I know somebody personally who doesn't feel that way though. That's why it is. um and usually they don't watch the show anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But for those of you who don't feel optimistic at the moment, I assure you, something great is happening. Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, Einstein, for coming in. Dark pool activity, and yes, of course, we'll talk about that. I was actually monitoring that dark pool, same Twitter account that was kind of posting about it too. So anyway, welcome everybody. I don't know how many people are around. I know it's Friday night. Of course, people just, celebrating usually, except me, obviously. Have no life besides Gamestop at the moment. So let's talk about it. Today, price action as expected. It was kind of like teetering around that level that I was looking at. Now, remember there was in my observation here, I feel like there is a small gap down here somewhere. Maybe that's not gonna show on the 1 day candle, maybe. Not down here, but up here, right here. A small teeny gap. Teeny. Not even like, perhaps, again, people are not noticing it that much. Little differences. But yeah, that could possibly be the price target there. I mean, not to say that it has to be coming down here, but again, 5% more just to, again, give people that pessimistic, point of view. It's like, this stock's not doing anything. Don't worry about it. Don't even look at it, like the negativity that comes when they're covering the GameStop earnings report, right? And of course, I was making a mistake of looking into the media coverage and then immediately become enraged. Oh my goodness. But anyway, so I was listening to this segment over here. They give it like 5 minutes, not even that. And it's like 2 minutes. So we'll listen to it together and scold them to oblivion. Hopefully, anyway. I don't think that's gonna happen, but okay, 1 second, you guys. Typically, obviously, it's well known. Just in case, people who are new to this doesn't know anything about the media, how they use manipulative tactic and they left a few things, again, cherry picking, right? Now, for me, again, I've gotten what is it? A Not an excuse. I've got. Oh my god, I can't even say. I promise you, I'm not I don't take anything right now. I'm just trying to find words. What is it? Oh my goodness. Accused. Can't even find a word. I got accused of being, too optimistic about this company, even though there's nothing. That's what I've met with sometimes. Like, the company's not doing anything, operationally, it's not doing anything, right? It's a terrible business model and all that stuff. But I feel like, there's a little bit hidden, like there's a hidden gem here that people are missing. And I see it clear as day for me anyway, but for some reason other people don't see it. And oftentimes I would get quoted, oh, so and so said so right here. Look at these reputed, news media that covers GameStop. Every single one says this, right? And I agree. That's again, like, so I'm thinking, okay, am I too cultish here to notice something that is so bad about this company? And so, okay, naturally I would be like, okay, let me just take a look at this. Okay, so let me kind of play a little bit. Of course, I disagree with this, but I'm hoping to find some disagreement here on this chat.
After
Hopefully.
closing more than 1,000.
Okay, so say one like short minute, not even 1 minute, 53 seconds. Okay, and these people who listen to this soundbite, little tiny blips, of news coverage and all that stuff, typically that's all they pointed out to you. And right away, I know that this is skewed already. Now, I know, I'm guilty of being too optimistic, but this is way too kind of concealing the most important line items here. So let's listen together, and then I'll come back.
After closing more than 1,000 locations across the globe in the last year alone, GameStop announced more store closures. GameStop did not reveal how many more stores it would close, but said it would be a, quote, significant number. In addition, the company said as more stores close, it will invest more in cryptocurrencies. GameStop revealed it's attempting to raise $1.3 billion in order to buy Bitcoin. At its peak, GameStop operated about 6,000 locations worldwide. However, that number has been reduced to less than half that, with nearly 600 stores being closed in the U.S. alone. GameStop's most recent earnings report revealed a 28% drop in year-over-year sales. The company reported revenue of $1.28 billion, missing Wall Street's estimate by about $200 million. That'll do it for your daily briefing. From New York City, I'm Kelsey Barbario with The Street.
That's it? That's news? Oh my goodness. Who is this? It's not even Yahoo Finance, right? Just like, okay, just really? There's no earnings per share beat by hundreds of thousands of percentage? No. Okay, all right. So they're just like focusing on revenue decline and all that stuff, right? So it's the oldest trick in the book. Maybe because I can. It's hi Michael. Been so long, I'm zen to all of it. Great. See, like again, you have to be here for so long for people to really appreciate, the long-term, outlook for this investor. And again, this is like going against the conventional wisdom that, these new media type tell, other people that are, again, only like less than a year people, okay? That usually people who invest in this type of stocks, or at least buy into GME, are short-term people, like retail, who just like wanting to make it a quick buck, right? And so that's like, it's so untrue that I don't know where that lie come from, right? And again, it's being perpetuated, like perpetuating to the rest of the media. And of course, like before that, when Rowan Kitty was covering it, I used to think the same thing, but come to find out, he was a long-term shareholder before that, even, right? 2 years before he blew up. Excuse me. And so he was, tracking the company, following the company, and was understand that it was very undervalued for the longest time. And so, yeah, that's why it was controversial, to say the least. But retail, I feel like, especially in GME, shareholder are become more and more mature. For me too. I mean, I'm I feel like the more I learn about this company, the more I know, um, where the company could be in 10 years type thing, right? Long term, long term aspect of things. So no longer that, okay, I'm just gonna be here for a quick 100% and then I'm gone, right? It's more like, okay, so let me see the company success, company journeys, and kind of like walk hand by hand or hand to hand with this company and see where I'm gonna go 10 years from now, right? Because again, it's tough to kind of price certain things. I also understand the trading dynamic as well, and that's why again, it's so easy for me to be like, okay, this is the most popular stock that is being traded every day. And again, it's evidence every day, like especially in this past couple of days after the announcement of bitcoins and all that stuff. I could really see the volume picking up already, whether that's from the bitcoiners or whoever, right? Or another horde of traders, of bonds trader. And so there's a lot of activity around that. So to say that this company is not worth something, I just don't get it, for me anyway. And then just to believe that on face value because you just see snippets of somebody's it's like, again, that's why I advocate, okay, at least just look at the balance sheets yourself. Please don't listen to these sound bites and then you're like, yeah, that this is terrible company, right? You have to understand it from the a different perspective here. And of course, only then you would understand why there's so many people interested in buying this company and holding this company for a long term. I also watched somebody the other day, a couple of days ago, when they were announcing Bitcoin on their balance sheets, which is earnings. I don't know why I say it that way. The guy would say, I don't know why you guys choose to trade this stock. Okay, well, okay. I mean, I agree, don't trade it. No wonder, in the past 3 years of this company, it hasn't been any, hardly any volume, right? Of course, traders love volume for some reason. And because they know that they could, arbitrage them in some way, shape or form. And so, and they think that they could make a quick buck, right? Come into this company, shorting it real quick, and then coming back, and then do whatever, all sorts of things. Like like I said, drunken monkey coming in and out of the stock. MSM is pathetic. No other words. Their script is all written for them. Of course, like I know, like I don't even know if they ever take a look at the balance sheet themselves, whoever reporting this, right? I don't think they even know how to read it, And typically, they just word of mouth, the same exact script. They don't even have a thought of their own, it seems. So again, news reports are like that. Like I don't know why I am so surprised by that. Did you hear about Nicola? Oh, okay. Nicola, founder Trevor Merton, got out of jail. No, I have not. Apparently, he went to jail for that. I didn't even know he went to jail for that. I knew it was a fraud, but I thought, okay. I'm sure his company's gonna go, gonna trade up tomorrow because like the company doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, let's listen to Kramer. What's his take a day ago?
Let's get to Jim and stop trading.
Well, I have a nomination for the worst piece of paper that has been issued in the year 2025 so far. GameStop announced a proposed private offering at $1.3 billion. Interesting coupon, 0.00. This is now what you do is you buy this and you short GameStop against it, and that's how you'll be able to get your maximum return. I'm not sure that the meme people actually understand that, but it's mini MicroStrategy. It's mini Sailor.
What did you make of Cohen's response to you on X?
I didn't read it.
Did that make sense?
I didn't read it.
Certainly a lot of other people saw it.
I don't read
you buy Bitcoin in your reserve, and then you do a convert the next day after your stock goes up. Now it's back down.
I like Bitcoin. I had a lot of Bitcoin. Why? Because of $36 trillion in debt.
Do you keep it with the gold or separately?
I have a lot of gold and a lot of Bitcoin because I have been very public in saying that I'm very concerned for my kids about what happens with $36 trillion in debt. I don't know if we can grow out of it. And it's just a pure insurance play.
Oh, all of a sudden, he loves Bitcoin, right? He's been telling people not to buy it for the longest time, right? always, and for some reason, he's the expert on all of it to stop trading GameStop all of a sudden, right? Because it's cheap enough. I bet you anything, when it's $400, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, buy GameStop. Now I get it. It's $400, buy it now. And then they're gonna drop the price down. I'm telling you, this guy is the master of fakery, faking people out all the time. And I mean, what amazes me is that people still listen to this guy. Like, really? But I guess, in the market, there's always new people coming in, learning new things and all that stuff. So, unfortunately, people like that is going to have some markets. So you just have to avoid them, or at least you should be lucky enough to find people that could at least give you a better direction on that, Anyway, so currently I look at this and look at that. I mean, look at the PE ratio. I mean, come on. This is like, remember it used to be 400 and people were like, look at the PE ratio, okay? I'm like, well, it's gonna fix itself quarter by quarter. As time goes on, when the balance sheet fixes itself, it's gonna be a lot more better. Like, again, and you don't have to wait 5 years for the company to improve in the PE ratio. Okay, so even this one right here, forward PE ratio, I'm sure it's gonna be a lot less than 47. You know why? Because now they're adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. Okay, and that Bitcoin, I know, like, this is like maybe a couple more years because they've been talking about this for quite some time, that you could earn yield on your Bitcoin too. Okay, and the XRP ledger and all that stuff, they are trying to solve that with ADA, which is Cardano. That's their wheelhouse. Okay, that's the reason why they are building ADA in order to custody Bitcoin and also make Bitcoin a yield-based type of asset. But again, it's being developed, obviously, right now. They're just, testing it out, and hopefully the whole world is going to be able to use it. Not to say that GME is going to eventually go to that route, but currently owning Bitcoin is one of the, strategy that we are trying to get into. I've seen video of Kramer from video admitting GameStop was a decent company. He's very crooked for sure. He's very crooked for sure. That's a funny term, but yeah, of course, like oh my goodness, like slimy to say the least. Slimy, I would say that. Hi Jay, what's up? What's up? But anyway, so again, the PE ratio, it's gonna fix even more. It's gonna improve even more. Do not worry about it. Of course, depends on the price, right? I mean, price fluctuates like crazy, so of course you couldn't like measure that. But what is a good metric to go into? I mean, the only thing I'm looking at right now is like the net income, right? Because that's the bottom line. Okay, bottom line is always better if it's positive rather than the top line revenue, right? And think about this, you guys. We're living in an economy that doesn't really boom. It's not a booming economy. You know, you've seen what's happening right now where, you know, the fear of inflation is coming back again because of the tariffs, right? But again, the true inflation is coming down. However, the Fed just doesn't want to admit it, that the inflation is coming down, because he doesn't want to lower the rate at the moment so that the economy could kind of have a relief a little bit here before it fall down. So perhaps this is the game. The game is to crash the economy because Trump is here. Perhaps they're trying to blame Trump for it. And Trump is the scapegoat for sure. And so this is why, again, you know, I guess it's the war between Trump and the Fed here. Who to do what first, okay? So who's gonna kind of whether the Fed's gonna lower the rate first or Trump's gonna back down and stop, you know, the tariffs and all that stuff. So that's remain to be seen. Obviously, the deadline is April 2nd, which is the day after GME complete their bonds. Okay, so that perhaps is the perfect time to buy Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin went down for some reason. I mean, opportunity is looming everywhere, you guys. The star is aligned, I feel. So, is it going to come down to this trend line again? And then that's when it rocket back up? Who knows? I kind of expected that. But again, everything is kind of unexpected at the moment. There might be a rounding thing and then come back here. It happens all the time, you guys. Like it fakes people out like that, where, you know, you think it's rolling down, like even over here. You're like seeing this and like, oh, it's coming down here, right? But then it's like go right the opposite direction. But again, short term, obviously, whatever news associated with Trump, tariffs, and all that stuff, people are gonna freak out at the moment, right? And then also too, with the bond right now at the moment, if you look at the bond, hold on, let me see. I'll read your comment in a minute, Jay. Even the bond market was reacting to, yeah. So looking at this, I'm thinking, okay, so what's going on here? When the bond price goes up, usually that's the expectation. Bond traders are saying, okay, debt is going to go lower, okay? Meaning the interest is going to go lower. So the market, the bond market traders out there are expecting it to go higher. So that's what, this is the value of the bond. So the value of the bond goes higher when the rate is low, okay? And so the expectation is that now if Ryan Cohen were to buy TLT, you know, the long-term dated one, of course TLT, because why? You could trade that to other people, when the rate is low enough, like over here, you could get double your money. And on top of that, not only that, you get, X amount of interest rate as well. Currently, it's like 4% or something if you buy bonds. But yeah. I mean, again, buying bond doesn't mean that it's only going to give you 4%. But if you buy TLT, you get best of both worlds type thing, right? The price appreciation is there. You just have to be patient for it, right? So with Ryan Cohen, though, like that $4.7 billion, I am sure that, well, conservatively, I'm sure he's just going to do the marketable security with that. Right, marketable security, and then whatever is raised by the convertible bond is going towards buying Bitcoin. I think that's a good strategy because at the very least, you get this as a cushion, safety net. Okay, safety net. What am I drawing? Goodness. I hope you're entertained by that. All right, fraud shorters funny. Now they are desperately want to try to convince out your shares. Of course, not buying in undervalued GME with illegal suppression. Yes, of course. I mean, it screamed desperation. Of course. I mean, if they let the market just do it, the correct way, they cannot manipulate people, right? So it's all about manipulation and see how many people they could manipulate, or kind of long drawn out. I don't think they realized that people would hold GME this long. Really, they don't think that. They think that we're just gonna be so bored and say, oh my god, it's so boring, and we're just gonna sell out, right? And I'm sure some of the retail investor did sell out. I'm sure of it, and because again, they're like, oh, I could come back later on at a later date. But they don't scale. I don't think they scare enough of us to matter. And the reason how I know is the price. The price. I mean, it could have been down to $10 yesterday if they could. Okay, but they just couldn't. Because there's too many people buying in. Bitcoin went down for the same reason. GME went down. Institution wants to scoop and other. Yeah, sure, for sure. I think the short and distort, poop and scoop, right, strategy is always towards the asset class that they don't want you to buy, especially retail investor. All of that again, that's pretty accurate too. 51 for life. You consider maybe going to 1.7 billion from the coupon. Okay. The wording sounds like each individual investor could, purchase 2 million extra each. Extra each? That sounds like it could be up to 10 to 20 individual investor. Okay. Jimmy owns 0% over 5 years and can't just issue conversions to shares later if needed, or buy them back at $400 million. In the later. Okay. Shorts remaining are literally beyond. Yeah, I mean the debt market created is going to bring more and more people into the stock itself, equity and all that stuff. Yes, the volatility would be here. And of course, again, based on the bond market, it's going to create the opportunity on both sides, for sure. Now, retail investor for sure is going to be so confused if you just hear for the first time, and not aware of what is convertible debt and all that stuff. So that's why I was like thinking I was gonna kind of go through that a little bit here in a minute. Okay, so let's show this one real quick, because when we talk about shorting and all that stuff, people might not say, what is shorting, right? Shorting, it just means that people are selling shares like crazy, okay? Like selling. Okay, just think about selling. And so when you sell share, why is this not? Maybe that's okay. All right, let me just pull this over here. So the volume that was ensuing, it seems as though it was back in May when Rowan Kitty tweeted the second time. And so that's encouraging, right? Because anytime there's volume coming into this stock, share price typically go up. Typically, obviously. But this volume is unprecedented at the moment. Because if you look at it, why the price is down when the institutional are trying to scoop it up? Well, look at it. Because it was shorted. Like, what is that added up to? 70 million shares in 3 days. Shorted 70 million in 3 days. Are these all retail investors like, oh, Jimmy buy Bitcoin, so I'm done? Really? We've been 4 years here. Like, do you really think that that is the sentiment right now? Or again, maybe they know ahead of time, it's like, okay, convertible bonds, they're gonna dilute, sell, right? Some of it might be algorithm as well. I'm suspecting. Okay, so a lot of that. Hey, Cutter, what's up? I saw your show. Anthony, I know people are scared to buy stick right now. Do I stick? You mean stock? But I will. Jimmy Holding Corporation is truly different. Of course, like I truly believe that. And when I say that to people, I'm not quite sure if they think I'm sane. They think I'm crazy, you guys. And so I'm just like right now, I'm just like stop talking about GameStop at work too much because they think that I'm delusional, you guys. Because again, the news media, right? They're doing a number on the reputation of GameStop for sure. And I'm sure it's gonna take quite some time after this, right? Even after there's been successful for 5 years, people will still have this negative connotation to it. And precisely this is why it is an opportunity for us, right? That's why it's once in a lifetime, because it just takes so long to convince people that this company actually do something great, right? And so again, why do I feel like every time the price come down, I'm so giddy and happy? Because, okay, all right, I have to wait a little bit, but I got to buy more, right? And then at this price point too, how many share per equity do I get? I mean, come on. How many equity per share do I get? More than 40%, more than 50% at this price, right? I mean, it's ridiculous. And then on top of that, now we know what are they gonna buy. Like there's a certainty there. And of course, being the Bitcoin person myself, I'm like, yeah, this is the greatest opportunity, even for Bitcoin. This type of asset is not going to stay here for long, you guys. Maybe you have 1 more month to accumulate this thing. 1 more month, and then they're gonna skyrocket. Of course, I think that there's more opportunity in GME at the moment because of its prime, right? Of how it moves. Short squeeze, gamma squeeze, whatever, right? With more institutional interest now because of the bond, introducing the bond traders, the quant traders and all that stuff. They love to trade this thing, okay? Because they know this is their wheelhouse. Bond traders usually typically smarter than equity trader. Again, conventional wisdom, right? They may not. But I'm saying that those interests gonna come because of them, right? And again, that's gonna attract who? It's gonna attract day trader, okay? It's gonna attract volatility trader. It's gonna be crazy, you guys, crazy madness, And I think these institution knows this. Now this guy is all over it. And let's listen.
Coming back on, listen, as to their almost $5 billion they have in cash. Again, no debt, by the way. We think they should put at least half of that amount, at least $2.5 billion should go into Bitcoin at this point. The problem that Ryan Cohen, excellent CEO, has is that he should have made these moves a year or 2 years ago. When Bitcoin was 30, 40,
yeah, but that's what
$50,000.
if, right? That doesn't matter anymore, right? That's in the past. But for the future, you say this is a good approach, though.
Absolutely. It's a great special situation stock. We played AMC. We did well there. We used Trump Media, did well there. We think GameStop is going to 50 on this move, ultimately $100, because this is now a $13 billion hedge fund that's got the ability to invest in Bitcoin, which is just getting started, is the best supply demand story there is. We applaud Ryan Cohen on this excellent move.
So another
Crazy, huh? He's saying it's 50 to 100. That's a pipe dream, right? That's what people are saying. I wager it's gonna be even higher than that. Okay. Maybe I'm just pipe dreaming. Yeah. I mean, immediately for sure. I mean, look at this. Let's see. Where did I saw that? Dark pool activity shenanigan over here. Look at that. Huh? What? I mean, for people who are not familiar with the structure of this market here, they don't know. They don't know what is dark pool. What? And even the most educated, like Moran's was saying about that nobody special guy, like he's educated about how manipulative Wall Streets are. But for some reason, when it comes to GameStop, right? Oh, it's just, retail just doesn't agree with what is going on with the GME announcing buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin, the greatest asset class the world has ever known in the past, decades. And I'm thinking, okay, so what is going on? Maybe perhaps he just doesn't know about this company as well as we do, obviously. So of course, that type of sentiment's gonna come. If you're not following this company closely, you wouldn't understand the madness that is happening in this stock. And it's not like, the higher ups doesn't know this. The SEC know this. That's why they hide those, failure to deliver data a couple weeks ago. No, not a couple weeks ago. January or something like that, when Roy and Kitty was tweeting about it. And so, stuff like that happens. And then what are we supposed to be thinking, right? And of course, I'm thinking, okay, because of the institution, want to scoop it up at the bottom. See, $21 a share. They get to do it without causing the price to go up. And so whoever bought into calls expecting a move during the trading day did not get to benefit unless, again, you're quick enough to immediately sell at or buy the right time, the right moment and all that stuff. And I'm thinking Roy and Kitty is pouncing right now on all of these calls. I'm sure he's eyeing some strike price call right now and then just freaking buying everything across the board. Or this could be him. I mean, you never know. And then of course another speculation too, right? What if he's the one who buy those convertible notes? Maybe half of it, yeah. I mean, he has the ability to. And then just hold that note for forever until the end of time. Right? I don't know. Just speculating. All right. Let me see. That's why future will be proven. Oh, valid. Of course. I get too hyped when the volatility kicks in. I can barely contain myself. Of course. Volatility will come. Volume is coming. Remember max volume? That's, not even the time yet, right? What is Warren Kitty said? April 20th, right? After April 20th, maybe? Maybe OPEC? Huh? April OPEC coming, right? Next month. So again, alluding to the tweet that he got, that he posted, time to cover, right? So take a look at that, tinfoil or whatever you think. But again, no dates. Don't get caught up on dates, okay? Because people get burned. I got burned on dates too, so don't, right? And so just keep your head straight. Buy shares if you can, because it doesn't expire. Who cares? How long ever you have to hold it for. If you believe in the company in the long term, believe in the leadership that Brian Cohen's going to be able to deliver this, and now implementing a new strategy in order to banking on the volatility that is to come, in order to buy the best asset class in the world. I mean, come on. $100 billion worth of money coming in. Walls of money. What was the peak? What was the peak that we had back here? Was this like $40 billion? Yeah? Okay, hold on 1 second. So right now, say 10 billion. 20. Right? 20. 30. 40. 50. 60 billion dollars at the peak over here. Yeah, I would wager $100 billion market cap at the end of this. But yeah, so I mean, if he adopting the strategy, okay, it's going to be crazy for sure. And on top of that, we're actually primed to acquire even more Bitcoin, maybe faster than MicroStrategy. Maybe we're gonna get to 1 million Bitcoin. Oh my gosh! Like, can you imagine that? We would own the whole world at that point. Oh my gosh! No wonder people think I'm crazy. Bloomberg Terminal, based on all data, said that the fair market value for what? More than $100? That's crazy. Okay, so who would be selling those at $100? They're not selling it to us. Maybe the swap price. Okay, we can't say this. Okay. Bitcoin move was okay, but it's expecting something else from. Oh, okay. What are you expecting Jimmy to do? Like building a company when freaking inflation is just crazy? Like nobody could even beat inflation. Any companies cannot beat inflation because, again, when you inflate people, people are not able to spend money. So where are they going to get the money to spend? Every money goes towards the essential stuff, right? And so people are not able to, have enough discretionary spending to spend enough extra money to spend on fun stuff. Okay. What's an exit strategy? There's no one. There's none whatsoever. You just buy and hold and never sell. No, of course, like do whatever you want to do for yourself. Whatever fits you, do it. Hopefully you don't sell at a loss and be a dummy. Okay. When you get into something, you want to sell in profit. At least sell at a profit. Don't be a dummy. If you want to exit out. But there's a lot of people out here who thinks a lot about this company that perhaps there's an infinite money glitch here that we found. Okay, again, speculation, but who knows if it's true or not. Even Grog, okay, I was tweeting out Grog. What? I tweet out, I guess somebody asked Grog whether GME is naked shorted or not. I guess based on the price of a spot spike. Okay. And unreported in this 30 million share shorted, right? So there are 150 to 180 million shares unreported. That's crazy. Okay, that's hidden there. So based on FINRA right here, 3.7 billion shorted shares. Shorted, okay. And then CFTC swaps, okay. 22 to 27 billion swaps. Okay, there you go. Ownership exceeding issued share. Reported number miss this hard data. Doesn't lie. Okay. There you go. April 1st update worth a look. Oh, see. So April 1st, there's going to be an update on the swap or whatever. Yeah, so there's an approximately hidden short of 230 million shares to 1.1 billion shares beyond what is reported there. So if you trust AI with your life, okay, this is the truth, you guys. I'm telling you, So again, I'm not smarter than AI, so I'm willing to say that this is the truth. Okay, of course, take this with a grain of salt. I'm just half kidding here. But again, data doesn't lie. Of course, this is a culmination of what is on the internet too. So just take that with a grain of salt because again, internet could lie too, right? There's bad data everywhere. So understand that. Okay, so let's see. Remember, you're only as good of a trader as the data that you are able to accumulate. Okay, bad data equal bad trade. Perfect data equals perfect trade, right? So be aware of that. So that's why again, data is so valuable. Okay, and so if you could manipulate right data to the right people are not gonna be aware of what's going on, right? So that's why they're lying to you sometimes just to fake you out. But then, the truth will tend to come to the surface. Just like what Tetron was saying. What is it he's saying? Something will bubble to the surface or whatever eventually. But anyway, so XRP and all that stuff is coming. Of course, India is testing all of their, effectiveness and all that stuff, efficiency and money transfer throughout the banking system. Of course, again, this crypto thing, I'm telling you, this is the way. And I think, GameStop is setting up for the right, I guess, bull run here. Because again, the narrative has changed. You have the bullish, administration coming in, deregulating crypto space. You've seen it right now where the SEC just dropping lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. Again, voluntarily dropping the lawsuit. Like they didn't have to do anything. There's no action and all. Immutable X also got their lawsuit dropped. So again, Immutable X is partner up or used to partner up with GameStop. I'm sure, that partnership is going to loom again. And it's only a matter of time, you guys. So, the NFT marketplace, of course, that's still another, arena in which we're going to go into. There's so many things in this company, you guys, I'm telling you. It's hard for me to not, tell every single person on this planet, okay, about GME. Because it's so much. I mean, and I'm telling people, okay, so why the price down? The markets just are stupid at this point in time, okay? And not everybody is smart and understand what's going on. I'm the only smart person here. That's what I keep telling people. And then I'm like, okay, all right, I'll stop. Let's see. Ryan Cohen follow again. Okay. I think you know what's going on. So, of course. I believe in him. GameStop, none the matter. Until the end, nothing will stop him. Yep, he is doing a fiduciary responsibility to protect our. Yep. That is so important, you guys. I'm because I feel like every CEO out there, okay, throughout the US, especially, I don't know about the other country, okay. It seems as though they're there just to take, just siphoning value out of, working people and all of that, right? Nobody is there to create value or anything like that. Especially again, to shareholder, especially the common shareholder, right? Now, of course, the fact that he's diluting and all that stuff, people, especially traders, okay, people are covering this stock and in the perspective of traders, they typically say, well, he's diluting again. Every time the stock's going to go up, diluting again, right? Without understanding, without that quote unquote dilution, how can you increase the value of shareholder equity, right? So if he's not doing anything, what happened? Oh, what are you doing with that money, right? So always some sort of action that these people are trying to get, Ryan Cohen to do. But my perspective on that is okay, so what is the purpose of the market, public market, raising, money for company, right? That's the reason why you buy shares is, to expect a return in a later date because you want the company to do well. So that's why you buy shares of the company in order for the company to raise money. Okay? So this is the natural ebbs and flow of the market. That's how it should be. Okay. Now, had these manipulation doesn't happen, shorting and all that stuff, naked shorting, swaps or whatever, didn't happen, the company would have had so much more money for shareholder. Instead of raising, 1.3 billion with 50 million shares, potential dilution, they could have raised only the same amount of money with less potential dilution. And so if you want to, kicking and screaming because, leadership is trying to raise money, then don't be in the market. Simple, right? Don't buy this stuff. But typically when they cover it, of course, they have a short position, right? They have self-interest. Of course, I have self-interest too. I have long position in this company for a long time. So of course, I'm picking and choosing good things about this company. But I really think that longs has a upper hand here and because time is on our side. No longer that this company is going to go bankrupt. There's no fear of that. Okay. So now it's the question, okay, how valuable do you think the company is going to be? And so that's on your bet. Like if you want to trade in and out because of this, go ahead, do it. I mean, it's your prerogative. It's your money. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And so that's why I welcome everybody. Like, okay, if you want to sell share, sell it. I mean, I'm going to get more. Like, if you want to sell it at $21, thinking that you're making it in life, okay, you'll see. Pretty simple to me. And of course, like, like either way, like your 10,000 shares not going to do much, right? Because again, who moved the market? Not retail, right? So in either institution's going to buy your shares from you, or you're going to get it for yourself, right? Or sell it at a higher price than you've got it before. Brian Cohen is the man. Some people, what is it? NGM, I don't know what that is. As well as himself and the largest individual GME shareholder in the world, of course. Well, again, our interest is aligned with him, right? So if he's diluting the shares, he's technically diluting himself as well. But yes, because he has such a large amount, the effective dilution for him, it's less than a person with one share. Yes, the pie is gonna get bigger for sure. And so dilution, if done right, it's gonna increase shareholder equity for sure over time. Because now your company, instead of 1% off of $10 billion market cap, now you own 0.95% off of $15 billion a share. Even though your percentage has diminished, the dollar amount that comes out after this would be more. So that's the whole dilution is. Dilute the ownership of the company, but it potentially could increase the pie, make the pie bigger. Hope that makes sense. Doge is about to visit SEC. Hopefully, oh my gosh, just announced no naked shorting. That would be wonder already. I mean, Elon Musk knows about naked shortings. I'm sure, I'm hoping, he's not going to be like, oh, this is too big. Just looking at GME alone, it's like, oh my God, $10 trillion of short position. I would not be surprised, you guys, if it's like $10 trillion of short. What do you think about the AU? What is AU? Evolution? What is AU evolution? I'm so ignorant, sorry, Anthony. How do you think it could impact GME in a good way? Not quite sure. Oh, you mean AI? Okay. It will impact industry in general. It's not only for GME per se, but I think it's gonna inform many more people about it if it's, again, if those data are being accurately accumulated, and if the data is good. So, in terms of trading, right, if people are believing in this, they're gonna place the bet directly on that. I mean, the danger on that is that people are just going to be mindlessly doing it because AI says so. So, in which case, there might be another AI that will, make sure that the majority will always lose. Again, they probably developed that algorithm already. So that's why, you get fake out all the time. And so, then you have to use the power of discernment for yourself, right? To be able to, like, okay, outsmart AI. Because AI is not really intelligent. They're just artificially, a culmination of like what past human did, to get smarter. Because again, they're just combing through data on the internet of how human behavior could be, but human evolve over time, right? So my point is, yes, use it. If you use AI as a tool to find information quicker, great. But don't use it to kind of like, the end all be all. Just give some scope that it could be wrong too. I see GME capitalize on AI technology, mainly through cybersecurity and Omni. Okay, there you go, there you go. More business-oriented type of AI usage. Yeah. Rely on AI technology to grading. Yep. Not going to make it. Okay, not going to make it. Thank you. I love how, like, abbreviation, I have no clue. So, I'm a bit slow, you guys, so please, spare me with the abbreviation. Thank you, Einstein. But the floor will be continued to rise. Yes, I believe that too. As well as rate overall growth, sending your investment term to even, higher value. Yes. Private equity buy country sovereign debt. I wonder if some country took on a few swap. I'm sure. I mean, they buy everybody's debt already. And do you think Jamie debt is an exception? No, of course not. They will flock into this debt market of GME too. UBS, yeah. Country will be barely any paper trail. Yeah. I mean, they don't want to, because then, anything that tells the public something, they don't want it. Because if the public knows what is going on, I'm sure nobody's really functioned in this society. Look at the JFK file. Like, shoot, like, there's a lot of crazy stuff in there where, a lot of cover-ups and all that stuff, and people are not, really aware of it. And they tend to think like, oh, this is happened 70 years ago. So who cares? Like, well, it implicated that, certain agency are actively, going against the American people here. So that's scary too, like propaganda. So apparently Thailand just had a huge earthquake. That region hardly have any earthquake. And look, these buildings are not built to withstand that type of earthquake. So look at that. Yeah. So apparently hundreds of people already found trapped and, I think dead already. So man, that's crazy. I don't know anyone from Bangkok, but seeing this type of things kind of make me feel sad. A lot of stuff going on. Sometimes you just can't wrap your mind around. So again, that's why I'm only focusing on just one thing. So I'm not I'm not too scattered mind in that sense. But anyway, so these are another, dark pool aggregates over here that we could see. None of that went to the lit market. Can you imagine all of this volume come to the lit market? It would not be at $21. And this is the unfairness of the whole thing is institutions are allowed to do this in order to get into the share at a lower price, while retail cannot participate, right? So the buy orders route to the dark market, and therefore you see the price just cascading down, right? Very predatory. Should be regulated at the very least. There's no halting, right? There's no nothing. But if it goes up like 2% up, oh, okay, halt. It's like, oh, too much. 2%. Ay, people. But anyway, there's a lot of hinting over here. Anyone buy the dip of the dip of the dip? So now this is just for poking fun at people here. So $100 become $2,000 in 5 years. What people want more? So people want more on that. So if you take into account, right, if you buy GameStop, the ring before the squeeze, I guess, or sneeze, or whatever you want to call it, $100 turned into $2,000. That's crazy, huh? I mean, is it going to happen again? I feel like it's going to. All right, you guys. So, and of course, there's things happening where, suspiciously, when GameStop is announcing that they're going to buy Bitcoin, immediately they're exploring bailing hedge fund out right there. Yeah, so they know, and Jimmy is a problem for sure. But yeah. So this one is the explanation. I'm sure you guys seen this one, but just in case
I think we should do a brief
someone doesn't seen this one yet.
I think we should do a brief intro, maybe Ben, on convertible debt. If there are GME people watching about convertible debt, we prepare for volatility, right? Prepare for volatility. This isn't up only. GameStop's not going up only. It's going to be traded, and you've got a new horde of traders. You've got $1.3 billion of traders that are coming into the fray that are going to trade this in both directions. They're going to trade it going up, and they're going to trade it going down and make money on both sides of the trade. And you'll likely see it have peaks and troughs, and the troughs will be higher than the prior troughs. And it's going to have a peak, and it's going to have a trough, and the trough will be higher than the previous. And it will be a function of Bitcoin. It will be a function of arb trading. And there's going to be more and more volatility coming onto the scene. This isn't up only. I saw somebody mention it's going to go to 100 and back to 25. Probably. Right? Somebody said the market doesn't know what convertible bonds is. So GameStop sold off aftermarket. And it's like, no, convertible bond traders are probably trying to push the price down to get a good price on the convertible bonds, right?
Yeah,
like this isn't retail isn't dumping because they don't know what convertible bonds are. Like it's getting manipulated from smart capital. So maybe Ben, I'll kick it over to you to do a quick intro on CBs, maybe.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it a little bit because they're about to get a crash course in it because they're going to figure out what these pricing periods
We've got all the
about.
content. We're True North. We've got all the content.
Yeah, and it's going to be a little bit of a system shock as well because they're also about to find out that the hedge funds that they rallied against so hard are now their partners. So that's going to be a mindset shift for the GameStop crew here. So buckle up.
Just to preface this, like I don't think all hedge funds are bad, right? There are hedge funds who are on our side too. Okay, they might not even have a short position. They just want to make money. And so, wow, of course they're gonna trade this thing. So
Up for that one, guys. But yeah, I mean, and maybe I'll just talk about the pricing periods for now. Maybe we won't give everyone the full convertible bond backstory again here. But essentially what you've got when they announce these bonds is the investment banks go out and they find all the investors that are going to buy these bonds, which is largely going to be convertible arb desk, right? These hedge funds that are the ones that buy these bonds. And these are arb traders. And what happens is they go into a pricing period. And so the pricing period for GME will probably either be tomorrow or Friday, depending on how fast they move. And that pricing period is typically a matter of a couple of hours. So it's usually, I think, 4 hours is what I've been seeing a lot of them being. Sometimes they've been 3. And during that period, they're essentially taking a VWAP of the price throughout that period. And during that period, the people that are getting allocations to the convertible bonds are starting to put their short positions on. So whatever that pricing period is from.
how is that legal? I feel like it should be illegal because if they buy the bonds already, they're not allowed to do anything else. They should, right? I mean, institutions get the best of both worlds here and always do. So to me, again, there should be a rule. It's like, hey, if you buy the bond, you're not allowed to short it. Equity market.
From the beginning to the end, they're applying.
But I feel like that's an opportunity too, right? For all of us who knows exactly what's happening. Goodness, right? But I'm thinking like, well, what if for the people who doesn't know, poor people who doesn't even, poor as in like they're not aware, buying the stock and then they went down and it's like, oh my God, my life savings, and so, you'd be lucky to have the right information. Again, that's why the right information is very important. Know what you hold is very important because guess what? Then the price. Then okay, this is manipulation. Then it's undervalued, anytime it comes down like this. And less likely to be reactive. To be like, well, people just don't like the Bitcoin news. Like, crazy.
Their short positions all the way to the end so that by the end, when they get their allocation, they've got the right short position locked in, which locks in their delta position that they're going to start trading from. So what you tend to always see is during that pricing period, the price just steadily goes down, right? Because you've got all this new shorting activity that's hitting the market. You've seen it over and over with MicroStrategy. It was very confusing for a while, but eventually it kind of becomes familiar once you've seen it a few times. So people are going to see that. That's going to be coming here in the next day or two. I'm not telling people to go, try to trade that or anything, particularly if you're not overly familiar with it. But then from there, they're gamma trading, right? So these big ARB desks are going to be gamma trading. But the good news is a lot of times with these convertible bonds, they've got 50% of the shares sold by the time they're done with the pricing period. So they'll be at about a 50 delta and then they'll be trading from there. So the bulk of the selling pressure that happens throughout the life of these convertible bonds happens during that pricing period. And then as price goes up, they'll increase their short positions. And if price comes down, they'll take them off, right? They'll buy back those shares. So that's kind of gamma trading at a super, super simplistic level. And I don't think we want to go too far on that for tonight, but that's kind of the general basics. A lot more nuance than that, but it gives you a general idea.
So yeah, they're able to do that so that they could get a better price for the share. that we own. Yeah. Seems very unfair to us, huh? No wonder people are like, doesn't understand what Ryan Cohen is trying to do. I know, like, I guess if you buy it at like $30 a share, right, and it comes down to 21, 22, and you're not aware of this type of manipulation, people are gonna lose money. I mean, people might even sell it if they, don't believe in the company. But again, to me, that should not been allowed at the very least. Either put a clause in there, it's like if you buy the bond, you're not allowed to. I don't even know that if that's like legal even for GME to even put that clause in there. Is it possible? I don't know. But I'm sure the volatility comes in because of this type of corporate action here. And so I'm all for it, like, because the share needs a to be traded. And it seems like every time GME dilutes, quote unquote, volatility follows after, because now there's more shares to be traded hands, right? So traders serve a purpose for sure, that they will, inevitably cause price discovery, whether it's up or down, right? And so, because again, people trading in and out, and eventually they lose money. Depends on who you are, right? Whether you're short or long. Look at MicroStrategy after they buy Bitcoin, and after, every senior notes issuance and all that stuff. Just like the gentleman was saying, eventually they're going to be gamma trading. And gamma RAM is what we're looking for, right? So, see, look, they're already positioning themselves already. January 16, 50 calls. So they already bought those back to preparing. Okay. They're giving out. Wait. Getting out. Free card, yeah. The CEO today. Yep. Of course, they always fail upward for some reason. These predatory CEOs who just, again, there to scam investor, right? But because the bank or a hedge fund or whoever owned that shares get to trade it in and out, get to make money off of retail, they are, they allow these type of CEO to run amok, right? It's up to the DOJ too. I mean, they should be prosecuting people, or SEC should be looking for people like that for prosecution. But again, there's no rules that are enforcement. If there's no enforcement to the rules, there's no rules at all. Tough, right? All right, guys. I think I'm poop out at the moment. I'm not quite sure I'm gonna be here tomorrow. We'll see how I feel. But I want to cover a few things today. But yeah, thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out. I know typically I'm just like free thoughts, like there's no rhyme or reason of me being on here at all. Get to practice a little bit on live and all that stuff too, kind of answering you guys' question, response and all that stuff. So appreciate all of you. Okay, thank you so much. I will let you guys go. And yeah, looking forward to Monday for sure.